everybody. Tonight it is Friday night treats and cheats. That's because my hubby is away out of town and my little girl has a sleepover tonight, and I was puttering around the kitchen tonight and I got a little burst of energy because I got a phone call from one of my best friends in the world who is a Le Cordon Bleu chef. And he is part of my challenge group right now, and he said, sometimes I really need like a sweets thing at night. And maybe he didn't learn a whole lot in cooking school about some of the healthier substitutions that you can do when you're baking, because he is a professional chef and he knows how to make everything the right way, right? So I came up with something off the top of my head today that was an old Weight Watchers trick. For those of you that don't know me that well, I am a lifetime member of Weight Watchers, and that was the start of my journey where I learned how to make tons and tons of healthy substitutions for some of my favorite treat foods and cheat foods. So I kind of came back to something today that I haven't done for a long time because it sounded like a really good idea. He said, I'm really thinking about something like a gob. And I didn't know if you guys knew this trick. This is one of the easiest tricks you can ever imagine, and it tastes so good. And while I was making it, I thought, I should just shoot the video for it right now instead of just voila, presenting it to you. So what you do, you take one cake mix. So this is actually a dark chocolate fudge cake mix from Duncan Hines. And all you do is you add 1 can of pureed pumpkin. So this is a giant can because I like to bake, so I always have this in the house. This is a 29-ounce can. Normally you'd only need half of this, about 15-ounce can. So if you buy the smaller can, that's all you need. You take 1 can of pumpkin, the little can, 1 box of cake mix, throw it into a beater bowl, and it makes the thickest and like really fudgy cake mix dough that you can imagine for just one ingredient. No oil, no eggs, no water, just the pumpkin. So when you think about that, all you have done as far from a calorie standpoint is use the calories in the cake mix, which I've calculated out to be is about 160 calories per serving. And then added the pumpkin, which is full of tons of vitamins and antioxidants. Just pumpkin is so good for you. And you've turned it into something that looks like this. Now, it makes this really, really thick dough. I actually am one of those weirdos that has a gob pan, because my husband likes gobs. I actually have a brownie pop pan. So if this is something that you think, I can fool my kids with this, you could actually make brownie pops with this recipe, because the batter is that thick. So you can make or brownie pops, or you can make actual muffins. So when I took the average from a calorie standpoint and calculated it, it came out to be 80 calories per muffin, or cupcake. You want to call it a cupcake. 80 calories per cupcake, or 80 calories for one of these pieces of gob. So I can't remember, when they bake, sometimes they get a little puffy because they will rise. And you can actually slice that gob cake in half and put the filling in between. And then he said right away, well, what's the filling? What do you think it's going to be? Cool Whip. I should really get an endorsement from Cool Whip because I love fat-free Cool Whip. So I was thinking about that. What an easy way to satisfy a sweet tooth or craving at night by making something like this, a chocolate gob cake with a little bit, a tablespoon of the fat-free Cool Whip in the middle as a yummy alternative to one of those bakery gobs that would probably run you more calories and fat grams than you'd ever want to think about. I really wanted to share that with you tonight because this cake mix recipe works for all kinds of cake mixes. It works for a carrot cake mix. It works for a spice cake mix. It definitely works for the chocolate mix. Those are 3 cake mixes that I've tried that I've made with great success. All you need to do sometimes to doctor them up even a little bit more is add a little extra cinnamon, a little bit more nutmeg perhaps to the spice cake. For this recipe, I actually just added a tablespoon or 2 of Hershey's cocoa because, again, there's a lot of antioxidants in cocoa. And it made it that much thicker and richer. So all I have to, you can see me touching it right now, you can see how thick this dough is. So I am going to kind of, when I turn the camera off, kind of pat this down and fill up that gob pan so it's flat, and hopefully it will bake and fill the gob pan up, and it will spread when it gets hot. But I just wanted to share that with you tonight because I know a lot of us sometimes have that need to have that treat at night. Or again, this is something you can take to a party. When you need to bring a dessert somewhere, you can make something like this. Nobody will know the difference, and you know that you can have it, and that's why it becomes a treat and not a cheat. So you bake at the same temperature. I'm going to get ready to throw these in the oven right now. I wanted to just check in with you really quick because this is going to be a busy weekend since my husband is away and we have a lot of things going on. So I thought, let me get treats and cheats in early, and maybe you'll have a chance to run to the grocery store, pick up a 15-ounce can of pumpkin, just the pure pumpkin, not the pumpkin pie stuff, just the pure pumpkin, and then a cake mix or two, and give it a try and see what you come up with. So if you come up with some awesome combinations of cake mix and frosting ideas using those little frosting creation envelopes I showed you last week, let me know how they come out. I hope you really enjoy them. This is a great way to still have your cake and eat it too. And that's how you achieve the Hanick Dynamic. I will see you next week.